please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back to a Megon 2 Electric Boogaloo. Today we're going to be doing something I've never done on YouTube. Not the response video aspect. We've never done a response video even on the main channel to the user Queerkidstuff. During the time of the SJW, anti-SJW, feminists, anti-feminist skeptics and all that lot, Queerkidstuff did get a fair amount of criticism, okay? A more notable YouTuber that covered them was Drunken Uncle. Owing to his very comedic takes, I saw no reason to add a voice to it. But also they rose to a minor level of prominence right at the tail end of this little era, okay? Skeptics trademark, right? Before they started fighting each other. Since their YouTube channel is essentially dead now, they've moved to TikTok, which is a far easier place for them to produce content. Nowhere near as, let's say, well made, but it's still content nonetheless. I have done a response video over on Rumble. It was the very first video I'd ever responded to actually of Queerkidstuff. I'll link it down below, you should all go follow me there. I have a channel for Megon 2 as well, but the Megon channel is the one I'm trying to grow first. But I'll link both if you're interested in the pinned comment with the sources for today's video. The subject of today's video is teaching children about abortions, done through the lens of queer literature, LGBT literature, LGBTQI and all the other letters literature directed at children. It seems somewhat appropriate then I mention now. In the video I did on Rumble, we spoke about children's involvement with pride. My view is always going to remain the same. Children have no place at this. Yet Lindsay, the supreme over something of Queerkidstuff, believes they are a marginalized voice and should be heard at LGBTQI blah, 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 letters events. Okay, you need to know that. Watch the Rumble video for the full context. Let's dive into this one.
Hi friends, welcome to Queerkidstuff. I'm Linz and I'm Teddy! And this is my best stuff friend Teddy. And this is Teddy's Book Club, where we're reading LGBTQ plus picture books with you all every Saturday morning.
I got a bit curious because of who has tweeted this video out on Twitter, because obviously they put their tag on the video itself. I wanted to see whether or not it was a more recent video, but also if this was still a regular thing that Lindsay did. Yes, it is, in fact, still something Lindsay does. Teddy's Book Club is weekly, with the most recent being, in fact, this abortion video, but also the previous one, If You're a Drag Queen and You Know It, with great catchy lines like the following.
If you're a drag queen and you know it, strike a pose. If you're a drag queen and you know it, say ta-da, ta-da! If you're a drag queen and you know it, blow a kiss. If you're a drag queen and you know it, do all three. Oh my goodness. Blow a kiss. Strike a pose. Say ta-da, ta-da! Oh my god.
I take no issue with people going to school and educating children, and if you happen to be a drag queen, so be it. But there are certain lines where things are considered quite inappropriate, and some of that has been broadcast quite publicly. Parents are well within their right to not be okay with it, and schools need to listen to the parents. In the UK, that's not a thing. In the US, that is a thing. And you've seen much blowback in states like California that are considered incredibly progressive.
This week, we are reading a book called What's an Abortion Anyway? Linz, what is an abortion anyway?
Do forgive me for not quite grasping at the concept, but why or how is a better way of putting it, is this remotely appropriate for children? But also, through an LGBTQ lens, how is it appropriate for children? How is any of it actually? That would be the best way of phrasing it really, wouldn't it? Because I don't quite understand that. But let Teddy and Lindsay teach us about what an abortion is. That's...
Well, we're just gonna have to find out in the book, Teddy. This is What's an Abortion Anyway by Carly Maines and Emulsify. And I'm really excited to read this book because I don't think there are any other picture books that talk about what an abortion is.
I'm not gonna lie, the very idea of a book, a picture book, showing, demonstrating, explaining what an abortion is, and it's somehow being suitable for children, which on the face of it the very subject is not, fascinates me. Oh, and I took the liberty of looking for this book on Amazon in the United Kingdom. Yeah, nah fam, there's no book with that name. If I look up what's an abortion, I get lots of Christian stuff.
And it's really important idea to understand right now. Isn't it, Teddy? Yeah, that's right. All right, well, let's learn what an abortion is anyway. You ready, Teddy? Ready. All right, let's dive in.
It's such an important topic right now. There are some people, and I've done videos of it on Rumble as well, that want to have a full reproductive system put into their body after transitioning just so they can own the transphobes, homophobes, and all the other right-wing nutjobs because abortion. Link to this video down below as well. As this is quite clearly an American issue and I'm English, I don't have a horse in this race. But as someone that prefers smaller governments, as opposed to ones that control everything, when the Supreme Court ruled that it should be down to the individual state, I understood why they said that.
What's an abortion anyway?
This video.
Let's find out, my friends. Oh, I love reading the dedication. This book is dedicated to anyone who has ever had or ever will have an abortion.
That is a rather peculiar dedication, but can we get to the bloody pictures so we can judge it all quite harshly? That is, after all, why we're here, right? Oh, meow? Indeed. We have a tilly break. You're all welcome. You want to say hello again? Yeah.
How wonderful. All right, let's get into it. When a person gets pregnant, many different things can happen. Some people are pregnant for many months and have a baby. That's what happened to you.
Is this the part where I insert a really crass joke like all children are mistakes? I feel like books like this might miss a trick here. They should have a version that is kid-friendly, and then a version should exist for those who are adults who do not have kids nor want kids. Mostly don't want kids. I'd buy that version in like a heartbeat.
Some people have a miscarriage. A miscarriage is when a pregnancy isn't healthy enough to keep growing.
Do you think they use these kind of books as a way of getting a parent to then teach their child? Because I could understand that as a parent-child relationship thing, to have a medium that is easier for a child to comprehend. Yeah, I can understand that. But then I also believe a lot of the subjects that fall under this banner should be taught by the parents anyway.
Some people have an abortion. An abortion is when someone decides to stop growing their pregnancy.
Much like with what a miscarriage is, I feel like this is a massive oversimplification of what both processes are. Additionally, when someone decides, it's not always the case, is it now?
There are many different ways that people who are pregnant can have an abortion. Some people see a doctor who does a special procedure to remove the pregnancy from inside a person's body. Other people take medicine to stop the pregnancy from growing bigger. Medicines like misoprostol. Abortion is very safe, and millions of people have abortions every year all around the world.
Because of how immature a child's mind is. Very creative, yes, but immature nonetheless. To be able to grasp such concepts and fully get the gravitas of it, I don't believe they have the capacity to, even with literature like this existing. I firmly believe that the only reason this does exist is because people believe children are marginalized voices, and they need to be a part of those discussions, or at least be able to listen to them so they can understand what it is they apparently are pro or anti. Although when it comes to a lot of LGBT issues, it's very much pro everything. I say pretty much. Don't be the twat that says, "Oh, you must be MAPS as well." Fuck off. That's not what I meant and you know it.
No matter how someone has an abortion, everyone should be able to decide the way that is best for them.
This is where many people draw a line in the sand, because some will say, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing here by the way, again, don't try me. Life is at conception. What is life? The life itself that is growing inside you does not have a choice or voice in this. It is very selective to say, but children should be a voice, they're marginalized. What about the voice of the voiceless, right? The reductio ad absurdum, insert religion, insert many cultural norms, and you find that this is still highly contentious. It's just parroted as a, but the West is progressive, therefore the West is correct, which is not the healthiest of mentalities, I will admit.
I think so too. People have abortions for different reasons. Some people have abortions because they like their family exactly as it is.
Oh, the temptation to make so many jokes. Oh, I really wish I could say them. Even on this channel, I can't. And I would love nothing more than to tell you what I think about that sentence alone.
Some people have abortions because they can't take care of a new baby right now.
Are you familiar with the novel concept? It's actually quite arcane. You might not have heard of it, because some things often get forgotten, within the annals of history, where you're simply, and you might not have heard of this again, it's not something that many talk about. Stop shagging. How about that?
Some people have abortions because their doctors say pregnancy could make them sick.
This is where actually, while not having much in the way of an opinion on abortion, I actually fully support it. If there's a medical necessity where the mother's life is in danger, I support it. I also support it in the case of sexual assault. However, as reasonable a point as I'd like to believe that is, one does feel like that then segues away from the original point of, is this remotely appropriate to teach children?
No matter the reason, everyone should be able to make this decision for themselves. That's the most important part.
So there's another point I haven't raised yet. It's actually something men's rights activists point out all the time. If they get someone pregnant accidentally, and that person chooses to have an abortion, you have denied somebody, one of the two people involved in the creation of that, a say over whether or not that life has a right to live. So really, only one voice counts. And that is the carrier, not the inseminator. Is that the right word? Is that a word? Oh god, that could be a boxing nickname. Best not make him a heavyweight. They're packing far too much if they are.
People have many different feelings before, during, and after their abortion. Some people want to talk about it and some people don't. And both of those are totally more than okay.
Are we entirely sure that a child's mind could not only comprehend what they've done, which could have happened to them by the way, something which their rather creative minds may well have cottoned on to, needs to also be introduced to the psychological damage or effects of having an abortion? Not all people feel damage, just to be clear here, beyond the physical part. Just, then you're now complicating something that shouldn't be taught to children in the first place. I'm starting to understand why this book isn't available on Amazon.co.uk. Yup.
Some people feel happy or calm. Some people feel sad or lonely. Many people feel all these things at the same time. That's a lot of feelings, isn't it? No matter how someone feels about their abortion, they deserve to be treated with love and respect. Exactly. Because we can never really know what it is like to be someone else.
Well, this certainly does feel like a rather interesting degree of separation from the trans abortion video on Rumble I did. Just to be clear, even though I'm not a parent and therefore don't have a voice on this, I do not believe children should be subjected to these kind of subjects at all. I really don't. I think it's highly inappropriate. I do firmly believe when you teach sex ed in secondary school, high school, subjects like this might be appropriate as a discussion, perhaps. But I don't believe primary and middle school, what that book is aimed at, is remotely relevant to a child. They have no concept of this, so why subject them to us at all?
Oh my gosh, I just learned so much about what abortions are from What's an Abortion Anyway by Carly Maines and Emulsify. What did you learn, Teddy? Oh, I learned a lot about what an abortion is anyway. That's right, Teddy.
The temptation to make a joke concerning that teddy bear and you is really high right now, okay? It's an obvious joke, but I'm going to refrain because I'm above it. Instead, I'm going to say I learnt sod all about abortions, I learnt more from the trans abortion video. Seriously. I can understand dumbing stuff down for younger minds, but this is not something that needs dumbing down for a younger mind, because a younger mind does not need to know about it anyway. If anything, it just raises the inevitable question of, am I a mistake? And since I don't want kids, yes you are.